What's up, guys, and welcome in. So for a long time, I really struggled with eating. I was either an all or nothing guy. It was I was going to eat perfect, and I would even look down on people that I can't believe they're eating that cookie or that pizza, or I'd just be all in and perfect for seasons of time. And then it seemed like I could slip up on a weekend. I'd have some drinks, things would just spiral, and then I could go months. And I did this yo-yo thing for many, I would say a decade and a half, to be honest. And what really turned my whole mindset around and what I want to share with you today is something that's really powerful. And that's having systems behind your eating. So, the way that I approach this now, and one size doesn't fit all, you just need to think in terms of this way. So, stay with me a minute. So, the way that I label my systems for my life is I give myself exactly three options for breakfast. I'll just say 355 days out of the year, because, if we're traveling or we're on vacation or something, there might be a time where I might indulge, but we'll call it 355 to 360 days a year. I have a system for breakfast. I'm only allowing myself to eat one of three things. That's either nothing, I fast, black coffee, water. The second thing would just be eggs. A lot of times on a heavy lifting day or something like that, I will eat eggs. Third thing is just some Greek yogurt, throw some berries in there and things like that. That is literally the only three things I'll eat for breakfast. So, 7 days a week on every pretty much normal week, those are one of the three things that I'm doing for breakfast. Lunch, I have a system for lunch. And this is going to sound crazy to a lot of people. You don't have to be this extreme. But what worked for me is when I was working a corporate job for a really long time, what threw me off was coworkers ordering food, or we're taking a client to this restaurant or something like this, and it would just throw me off all the time where I'd eat terrible food and then I'd go back down that spiral. So I just decided every week I was going to meal prep my lunch, and I've literally eaten the same thing for about 5.5 years now. I have organic grilled chicken thighs, put teriyaki or hot sauce or different sauces on them. I have a little rice in there and a couple veggies. So pretty much that's every day as my breakfast and lunch is set. I don't waver from those things. And so what this does for me, number one, is I don't want to give up a lot of the foods I like. I still like to, our family does a pizza night about once a week. I take the kids for ice cream, and I just realized, man, I don't want to never say that I can't have these things. But the reason I have my system in place the way I do is I want to be really high energy all day. So I notice when I'm eating the pizza buffet at noon, man, I just flatline there. All I want to do is lay down on the couch the rest of the day. But if I eat the perfect breakfast, eat the perfect lunch, and I just have the mindset of throughout the day, food is fuel. That's all it is. It's fuel for me. Then, that's the mindset that I take with it. And what this also does is if we look and say, okay, we got 14 out of 21 meals. So if I'm going to eat three times a day for a week, that's 14 out of 21. I got two-thirds. I got 66% of my meals locked in, perfect. There's no way around it. What this also does is gives me a lot of freedom on the back end. So if my wife and I are doing a date night and I want to splurge and have the French fries at this place, man, I do it. Because by default, my wife is going to make healthy meals 3, 4 days a week, or we're going to prep something for 3, 4 days a week. And so it gives me a lot of freedom to eat guilt free some of these other days. And I think this is the biggest problem is, you want to be enjoying when I have the French fries, when I have the pizza, I actually want to be mindfully enjoying every bite of it. What I don't want is to be eating it and already feeling guilty and feeling terrible for it. And so thinking in terms of systems, what would that look like for you? Write out, hey, here's a few options I got, and make them things you enjoy. Because look, if you'll notice, I didn't say every day for breakfast, I eat, quinoa and spinach and peas. I don't like some of those things, so I'm not going to make it those things. Find a few healthy foods you like and make those your only options for breakfast, for lunch. Give yourself some grace for dinner. We'll talk about how to avoid snacking and some things like that in other modules. But for now, think in terms of eating in systems. It's just a math problem. All we got to do is just have lower calories than calories we're burning. You will lose weight. So, how do we do that? Okay, well, maybe the breakfast is set to be this every day. The lunch is set to be this every day. And I enjoy those things. It doesn't feel like I'm giving up. And now on the back end, because of these systems I'm adhering to, I have it a lot easier. So I'll share some other tips here in the next module about, how to ensure and lock in those systems, some kind of clever and creative things I did around the office. But I want you to start to think in terms of how do I create eating systems? What does that look like in my life? I'll be really honest, even when we travel back home and things like that, my mom will make massive big spreads of bacon and delicious things. And Nah, I don't do that. I don't partake in that, right? People just know now that, hey, this is just what I do. These are the systems I have. Breakfast, lunch, really locked in. Dinner, yeah, it's a free for all, man. My mom's making some of the big lasagna or whatever. I might have a second plate of it, right? But I'm locked in for those first two meals every day. And that has been something that's carried me through to have a lot of consistency now for 5, 6 years and helped a lot of my clients do the same.